Hi everybody, so I thought I'd come on. I'm a little bit later than what I anticipated. Been busy doing listings today. I did create the listings for the St. Patrick's Day bench insert along with a couple of shelf sitters. They are available as an SVG or a DIY wood kit. Also, I combined the leprechaun and the pot of gold. And so if you were to purchase that as an SVG or a DIY wood kit together as a bundle, you're going to save a little bit of money. So I went ahead and glued this morning. I'm loving this bunny. It's just very colorful. So we need to continue on. So I just kind of wanted to show you where I'm at. I did do a lighter stand, only because this bunny's light and I didn't want it being really dark. So I'm loving this. So what we have next to do is this Easter basket. And I should have sanded it and I did not. So I'm going to do that real quick. Not properly prepared. Doing those listings, it's time consuming. But I learned something new today after I was almost done. So I'm hoping in the future it will be, it'll go a lot quicker. So, all right. That's just gonna have to be good enough. So I think what I'll do is, I'm gonna do this the same as I did the other basket. I'm gonna paint this with an antique white. And then dry brush shading and highlighting on it. Because I want this basket to be pretty light in color. Because I want the eggs, they're going to be really bright. A bunch of various different colors. And I want those to just pop. And I'm probably going to offer that bunny as a shelf sitter. I'm going to make it bigger. Probably maybe 15 inches tall. I don't know. It's just too cute not to make as a shelf sitter, so. I will be doing that as well. Now my new Easter design that I've created that's going to go with the new insert, interchangeable design that I haven't got cut and painted yet. That basket is going to have a totally different weave than this. And we'll have different elements in it. So I'm just using antique white. And I'm just kind of pressing lightly because there is a bunch of score marks on here. I really don't want to have to dig them out, but if you tap lightly, you should be okay. And I'm gonna probably highlight this with buttermilk. And then if I want to lighten it up a little bit, I'll use some light buttermilk. And I'm just gonna highlight the tops of these rectangles and bottom. And what I'll do is I'll just do the tops first, go all the way down, and then I'll come back and then do the bottoms. That way I'm not wiping off my highlighting. Well, Chrissy's been good all day. But now he's gonna bark. Well, that's just a little bit too much everything. Hello. And I'm not really worried about how bright this is because I can always go back. I just want to get some type of highlighting on there. And then this has got to dry pretty good because I'm going to dry brush shading. I'm using the same technique that I did last time. I liked how that worked out. I liked the results I got. Which I don't think I got that color out. I'll need to do that. Okay, let's see. Hopefully I can find it. I'm going to use a color called Cocoa. Now I just want to dry brush shading. And I'm going to end up going over these little slats, and I'm okay with that. I'll go back and paint them. But I want shading on both sides of this so, you know, it goes dark. But I don't want the shading to be really bright, so I'm wiping off a lot of paint. And I'm just going to go, you know, back and forth. I wiped off too much paint. You gotta really load your brush up, but you gotta be careful at the same time too. You don't want, you gotta take it off. Oh, Grizzy. And you can barely see that, I'm sure, in the camera. I will go back over this. I just want it lightly because once I get, if it becomes too dark, if I don't wipe my brush off good enough and it ends up being too dark, then I'm gonna have to kind of, in a sense, go back over it with my base color. I don't want to do that. But I know I want it definitely darker than this. And what's kind of bad for me is I'm kind of going against the grain of the wood. Even though may seem like a slow process watching, you don't want to get, I don't want to say this, it's just not happening quick enough for you, and start pressing harder and not wiping the paint off your brush, because then you're going to end up with big globs, and then I don't think you're going to be happy. So definitely with dry brushing, you got to have some patience, and I think you need a light touch. And it's easy to like want it done. It's not covering enough. I want it I want more coverage now and be tempted to press harder or not rub the paint out of your brush enough. But you really just want to take your time. And I might try something different here. We will see. Because it might seem like I'm pressing really hard, but I'm not. You can go over as far as you want, whatever looks good to you. And you can have it as dark or as light as you want it. And this might look kind of odd right now because I'm going over those little pieces. But once I go back and paint those, the regular base color, this shading is going to look a whole lot better. It'll come more together, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm gonna try something crazy. I don't know if it'll do what I want. I'm just gonna try something and see. Now, you can't probably see that in the camera, but I can. Just kind of taking a rake brush and putting some lines across. It's very watered down, but just to give it just another look. Oh, that was too much, but getting a little wild with the strokes. But it just kind of put some lines in there. You know, if you've looked at any basket weaves, they have a little texture to them. So I'm just kind of trying to recreate that. All right. Let's go back over those middles now. You might have to go over it a couple times, but yeah, we had a company around here that made baskets. And when they closed, a lot of people were out of work and pretty disappointed, but it was Lungaberger Baskets. I wasn't too far from my house. Not really sure why they went out of business. Pretty popular baskets. But see, just by painting these little strips over these little strips, it kind of pulls that shading together. Shading's a little bit darker than what I wanted, but it is what it is. And something I might do is throw in some of those, get my rake brush back out, and use my base color as well. Because that's looking really dark in the camera, and it's not really like that dark. Kind of looks grainy too for some reason, I don't know why. Very bizarre. Yeah, that looks really grainy in the camera, and it's, I'm not understanding what maybe one of my, the adjustment got off. Don't be afraid to experiment with new things. I mean, that was just a fluke for me to think about doing the whole bit with my liner brush. I don't think it ended up being that bad. I mean, I could sit here and really get fussy with it, but I'm just going to go down the middle. Just adding a little highlight. I don't know how I feel. I'm gonna calm this down a little bit. I'm just taking some of my base coat paint and got it watered down. I'm just kind of like going over it lightly, doing like a wash. It definitely looks worse in the camera than it does in person. I don't know how I feel about cocoa being the shading color for antique white, even though that's their recommendation. I don't know how I feel about it. Just kind of want this a little bit more blended. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Okay. I also need to paint I don't know what you want to call it, but this goes over top, and I want that to be lighter, so I want that to be buttermilk. Just to bring in another lighter color. And then I'm going to empty my water, and we'll get the eggs painted. But I think this will be a nice contrast to the basket. So that way you can see it, but that's going to be a different, that'll kind of bring out this highlighting as well. now we have the eggs, and this is done. So I know I want that crystal. I want the purple petal. I want a banana cream. I want a pink. And I'm gonna do that. You know, I'm gonna do coral shell. Part of me thinks I need to do a green. Ugh. Alright, I'm gonna do the pistachio mint. I think that's the same colors I chose last time. Let's see. It certainly is. Alright, I'm gonna get rid of the yellow. Alright, so I'm gonna empty out my water and I will be back. We'll get these eggs painted, shaded, highlighted, and then I can start on the other element, which should be a pretty easy, quick paint. And maybe we get both these wrapped up, so stay tuned. Okay. So something I thought about while I was emptying out my water. You could, if you had ribbon, or you could go and buy ribbon, you could put a bow on this if you wanted to. Cute, some type of with Easter pattern on there. So that's something you could do. So I thought I'd throw that out at you. Now I do know I am going to have another Easter basket. With one of my inserts coming up, and it automatically just has a bow on it. It actually has different elements. Of course, it has the eggs, because what's an Easter basket without Easter eggs? I'm using, whoa, too much water. I'm using too much paint. Oh boy. Poodle skirt pink. That's my color. Just make sure you get down far enough that that band will cover the egg. And this brush I'm using is horrible for base coating. I don't know why I pick it up all the time. It's just doesn't do a good job. Congratulations to Trent for getting engaged today. You should have waited a couple of weeks and popped the question on Christmas. I have to have a better brush than that. Maybe this one will be better, I don't know. It's just really, it has a lot of bristles, but it just doesn't hold the water. It just doesn't mix good with paint. I don't know how to explain it. And this color is called Coral Shell. Hey, Lori. Just like that, she's gone. This color here is pistachio mint. I am heavy-handed with the paint and the water today. This color here is called Purple Petal. And you'll find me using these same colors throughout my Easter painting. These are just really great colors. It's giving me the look that I want. So I have a tendency to stick with the same colors. If I'm liking the results. Yeah, everything's looking a lot brighter in that camera than what it is. I'm gonna have to check into the settings. Let's see if something got accidentally adjusted. I think I'm gonna go over that peach. Well, it's not peach, but to me it's peach. One more time. And the green is probably gonna need another coat. And last but not least, I'm going to use the crystal blue, which is kind of like a turquoise. let's get doing a little bit of highlighting here. I'm going to use a light lime. On the pistachio mint. And I know this is going to take a couple coats for that highlight just to show up. This isn't the color they suggest, but I just feel it's a better color. And the shading color is citron green, which is like a neon. It's So I will be mixing Hauser medium green with a lot of the pistachio just to try and get something a little bit darker for shading. White peach for the coral shell. And I kind of want to walk the float a little bit around the tips of the eggs just to make them a little bit lighter. You can also try and dry brush. Gonna use pink chiffon for the pink. really a great job. Very dearly. All right, I'm going to use a color called Wisteria for the purple. Now, this is not what they call for. I think they call for Lilac Meadow or something like that, but it has like a pink cast to it, and I didn't like it. So hopefully this will be better. I like that already. Way better than that other. And blue chiffon. Yeah, that purple, that highlighting color is really fading. But I don't like their choice. All right. Well, let me see if I can mix up a decent shading color. Not too bad. I'm gonna get a little bit more green on here before that paint dries. And bubblegum pink for the pink. And that's about almost done. And it's only 5 o'clock. I don't know how I feel about that shading color. I think I might need to mellow out that green a little bit. It's just a little bit too bold for me. So we'll see how that works. Calm it down a little bit. I just know I don't want that citron green. That is not a good color. Now this is a tad bit lighter than the shading color I mixed up, but not a whole lot. We will see. All right. Coral blush for the peach. I just don't know how I feel about that. So, when in doubt, go over your highlighting and shading with the base color. And that will calm it down. We will see. Now these two eggs here we're going to have to do in steps because they have overlapping areas, and if you don't, you'll be wiping off your sheeting. So the purple gets lavender. I think I'll start by doing this first. We'll see how that dries. And then mermaid tail for the turquoise. And this you want to apply very blended and very sparingly. I didn't do neither. I did neither. Yikes. So I'll get to try that again. I'll just let that dry a little bit. It's a pretty color, but it's a really bold shading color. So let's try it again. Even this lavender is pretty bold for the purple. A lot bolder than what I would choose. But it does go. And I'm probably going to go over that with the base color because it's just a little bit too, it's a little bit too much for me. You can always fix So don't panic if you don't end up getting the result that you want. It is what it is. I think this needs a little bit of white. I'm just going to do a little bit of dry brushing, I guess. And then this is done. At least this element. And even though I haven't been on that long tonight, I think I will come on tomorrow sometime and get started on the other. This white is not really standing out all that much, but good enough. Get this glued, and we're gonna call it quits for the day. That's that. So, this is where we are so far. The basket and the bunny, and I think it's very colorful. I'm loving it. Loving the color choices. It's gonna look really nice together. So, who knows, I might change my mind and come back later on, you know, and get started on the other piece. And then we have the banner, which is gonna be pretty simple. Actually, the other piece we're doing is gonna be pretty simple as well. So, you never know. So I may get this finished this weekend. I don't know. We'll see. So, until then, take care. Bye-bye.